Mickey Mouse. That should be the mascot for the Indiana Fever. It's a Mickey Mouse organization.
Hey, everybody.
The Caitlin Six, the group of communist lesbians that run the Indiana Fever. They've done something stupid again. They banned reporter Scott Agness from covering the team. Scott Agness is as professional and as harmless as any sports writer in America. They should be thanking their lucky stars that someone as professional as Scott Agness would devote his time and build a business around covering the Indiana Fever and Indiana Pacers.
I like to refer to this whole thing, from start to finish, as a real Mickey Mouse operation.
The Fever have banned him for his too accurate reporting about Caitlin injury, missing a game because of a back injury, and him reporting that this may be a strategic management, load management issue. This is a Mickey Mouse organization. Can't manage Caitlin Clark and can't manage the news around Caitlin Clark, can't handle the bigness, the enormity, the attention that Caitlin Clark brings to the franchise. It's a Mickey Mouse organization. It's not built for what Caitlin Clark brings to the table. Herb Simon's either gonna have to clean it up or he's got to move on from Caitlin Clark because he hasn't brought the right leaders in, the right women in to handle this. Lynn Dunn's a 75-year-old grandmother, old lady. Kelly Krauskopf has certainly outlived her DEI position she's held with the Pacers and the Fever for 20 some odd years. Amber Cox, Stephanie White, the whole group of the Caitlin Six needs to be vanquished. They don't know what they're doing. They're communists, and now they're trying to bully a reporter who did some harmless reporting that put them in a bad spot with Caitlin Clark.
You're a clown, Steve. I'm tired of the clown show. Tired of it.
Part two of this, of their insanity and stupidity. They have no control of their players. Sophie Cunningham, hottest woman in basketball. Love her to death, but she needs to shut up. And if they had real leadership, she would shut up. She's doing too much talking. They have a private team meeting to air out their differences. They've agreed, allegedly, to keep it amongst themselves. Sophie Cunningham, building her brand, continuing to build her brand, comes out and tells the media all about it.
A long meeting yesterday. It was a really good meeting, and so hopefully we've kind of turned the page and everyone is kind of on the same page now.
This is not a well-run machine. There is no leadership here. There is just chaos. M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. I love Sophie Cunningham, but she's out of control. She talks too much. She's building her brand constantly. Now, because all these women, they're making so much money, more money than they've actually earned, that they've lost their mind. And now Sophie Cunningham thinks she's some sort of outspoken leader and she gets to freelance and go rogue because the organization, they have poor leadership, so everybody goes rogue. Sophie Cunningham starts talking about, they had a little private meeting to settle things among the team about the blow up on the sideline and why they're 4-4 and why Stephanie White and the coaching staff are doing dumb stuff like switching everything on defense. And Sophie Cunningham comes out and just talks about all of it because it's good content for her. It helps build her brand, and she wants to be the outspoken Barbie doll, and it works for her. But it's not best for the team because she put a clown suit on everybody. Play the clip.
Something that's hurting us right now is we're only playing one defensive scheme, and in this league, it's too good. You can't, and people are going to pick us apart. And so, we got to dial in. We got to focus. We had a long meeting yesterday. It was a really good meeting, and so hopefully we've kind of turned the page, and everyone is kind of on the same page now. And so hopefully Thursday you guys will notice that.
What were the kinds of things you talked about in that meeting yesterday?
Just what everyone's kind of feeling, where we need to be, what our identity is, offensively, where we're struggling, defensively, where is the breakdown. And so we literally, I think we were in there for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and we peeled back all the layers. And so I think everyone's on a good page right now, and we're ready to work.
All right, so before I comment on that, I want to play you Kelsey Mitchell, who was surprised that the media knew that long team meeting went on. Play the
We're
clip.
talking to Sophie about just the level of frustration with the group right now. You guys had a meeting yesterday. How would you assess where the mood is at with the team and how you guys move on from those 2 losses? Sophie told us.
She said if you couldn't make that, how y'all know about the meeting? And she laughed at those of you that are watching. She kind of laughed and giggled. But that's an indication, like, who gave y'all the details on the meeting? Who told y'all about the meeting? You know, because again, the fever had been trying to put on this, hey, that blow up on the sideline, that was no big deal. That goes on all the time in sports. That's nothing. And if we were men, no one would even be talking about it. It's the problem here is Sophie Cunningham doing too much. And like, some things do need to be left in the locker room and a mystery. But because Sophie Cunningham is clout chasing, and I just want to be clear here, I love Sophie Cunningham. From Mizzou, got baptized, got some conservative values, but she's doing too much. Content over everything. And it's because the leadership in Indiana is so horrendously poor. From the top, Lynn Dunn, all the way down to Stephanie White and her full-blown DEI coaching staff, including Stephanie White. This is a Mickey Mouse organization. And so here's what Sophie Cunningham just basically came out and said. You know what? Play the Sophie Cunningham clip again, just so we're all on the same page, and I want this fresh in my mind and in yours. Play the clip.
Something that's hurting us right now is we're only playing one defensive scheme, and in this league, it's too good. You can't, and people are going to pick us apart. And so, we got to dial in. We got to focus. We've had a
Stop right there.
long meeting
Let's
yesterday.
stop right there.
It was a really good
Let's
meeting.
stop right there. Here's what she just said. Because this is what's going on in the NBA and in the WNBA. Hey, we're going to play one defense and we're just going to switch everything. It's going to be positionless basketball because these players are making so much money and they're so stupid and they're so high and they haven't been taught it. They can barely read. They're coming out of these public school systems and private school systems that aren't teaching them anything. Because trust me, if you think the average high school kid is dumber now than 20 years ago, just imagine how much dumber the average athlete is who's, making money and has his eyes on making money or her eyes on making money through NIL and getting into professional sports. They're not paying attention in school at all. And so basketball and, again, football, it's all getting dumber, all of it. And so what the strategy in the NBA is, we'll just play one defense because, if I try to teach them a second or third defense, they're too stupid and they're disinterested and they're making so much money and they have so many other demands on their podcasting, on, trips overseas or whatever, the hoes that they're paying money to, whatever. They're just too busy to worry. And so that has swept the WNBA as well. Now that these players are overpaid, they're full of themselves, and it's content over everything. Sophie Cunningham's basically saying, hey, there's a number of my teammates that are just too stupid to learn any other defensive coverages, and that's what Brianne January, that was her excuse about, hey, why are we only playing one defense? Why are we switching everything? Brianne January said, hey, these players are too stupid, because Brianne January doesn't want to admit that she doesn't have a plan B. She's not a good coach. She's there for DEI purposes and relationship purposes because she goes way back with the Indiana organization. So we have to dumb everything down because these players are dumb and the coaches are dumb too. That's what Sophie Cunningham just admitted to.